Hey, welcome to People Think About It. Our guests today are Dominique Hagler and Mckenzie Cameron. And our show today is about, are soulmates real? And we're going to give you a little definition of what they say soulmates are. Say soulmates are a person ideally suited to another as a close friend or romantic partner. So we're gonna dig deep into a little what a soulmate is, because I know a soulmate means different things to different people, and we're just going to touch on that. So, who would like to start off? Dominique, how about let's go with you. Let's go with you. We read the meaning what a soulmate is, but okay. I think a soulmate is something probably personal to each individual as well.
For sure. So, I would definitely say, well, I know one question people usually ask, can you have more than one? So let's get that part out the way first.
That's a good question.
Yes, you can have more than one, because a soulmate doesn't have to necessarily be a romantic partner. It can be a friend. It can be a teacher. It can be whoever, or your pastor, whoever. They can be your soulmate. And when we talk about soulmates, we're talking about in a space of growth, somewhat like a mirror to you. To help you get better in different areas of your life, to shine light in areas that you need to see a little bit more clearer. That's what a soulmate is. They're really touching you from the inside. And so, that's what a soulmate is, in my opinion.
So, Dominique, do you have a soulmate?
I do, actually. My mother is definitely one of my soulmates, and so is my daughter. And then, of course, my lovely boyfriend, he is one of them as well. So, yes, I can definitely say, as far as mirroring me and showing me different parts of me that I need to grow in, they do come and they do that work for me. So, yes, I would say that they are.
Okay, so I like to throw this question out there on the table when it comes to soulmates. When it comes to a soulmate, and you talk about it romantically, right? Mm-hmm. Do you think that you can be connected romantically to more than one person as a soulmate? Anybody can answer that question. I mean, because basically, it's like I say. I mean, you gave your definition of what you feel like a soulmate is, and I think that when it comes to a soulmate, that it could be someone that, like you just explained, somebody that you connect with or relate to. It doesn't mean that your partner, you're not romantically involved with your partner, or it doesn't mean that you don't love your partner, or it doesn't mean that you care more for that person than you do for your mate, because I know a lot of people that's in relationships, they struggle if you tell them I have a soulmate and it's not them.
Right.
So a lot of people struggle with that, but it does not necessarily, to me, mean that you don't love this person that you are or is your mate. Mm-hmm. So.
What do you think about that, Mckenzie? What is your definition of a soulmate?
I mean, that was my first time hearing the definition. Actually read out. I think I thought a soulmate was a person that God intended you to be with. He just dropped that person somewhere in the world, and maybe you find them, maybe you don't. But that person is out there that He put for you to be out there, and that person is who He meant for you to be with. And that's how I looked at it.
Oh, so let me ask you this from that perspective, right? Mm-hmm. Then let's look at people that get married. Is that really their soulmate? Because you have people that get married for 15, 20, 30 years and decide, hey, I no longer want to do this. So could they have been soulmates at one point in time, or were they ever soulmates?
I don't think so. No. I have to... Okay, so to piggyback off of what Mckenzie is saying, he's talking more so of twin flames. That's a whole different space. So God dropping that person in the world, and you just pray you find them. Everybody doesn't have a twin flame, so but that's a different space for another day. But as far as the people that you marry, no, they don't necessarily have to be your soulmate. You can just really work well with them. It may have not been an instant connection. Maybe y'all just kind of grew over time, and it was like, oh, okay, let's see if this works, kind of thing. A trial and error situation. So No, they don't have to be a soulmate. Y'all just, it just may work. It may not. That's my opinion on that one.
So my thing in reaching out, why do people think that because you're in a relationship with the person and when they related to soulmate, that is the soul-hearted person that you're supposed to connect to? I mean, I just don't understand when people, because a lot of people that talk about soulmates take on that emotional feeling that this person is the only person that's supposed to connect to me. Mm-hmm. But in a spiritual perspective, when I look at soulmate, I look at it from not a fleshly standpoint, but a spiritual standpoint.
Right.
And sometimes, we all, fleshly wise, our eyes are attracted to things that probably aren't good for us.
Right.
So that makes it that, to me, that's not necessarily that is the soulmate, because you can connect with somebody from a physical standpoint and not connect with them from a soulmate standpoint or emotional standpoint.
Right.
So,
I mean, I think it's selfish to say, especially in relationships, oh, well, I thought I was your soulmate. How can you feel a way or connect to this person, right? So I would say, to kind of give it some clarity, you have a man and a woman, right? And they're platonically friends, but they connect on this different level where they're able to grow from each other. They're able to learn. They're able to understand. They had an instant connection, but it's platonic. It's not a romantic thing. No. And then, either one of them are either in a relationship. And so it's looked upon as a negative thing because it's like, well, how are you, why is it that you can talk to Susan and you can't talk to me?
Exactly.
Or why you can talk to Derek, but you can't talk to me kind of thing. And they just have a different connection, and it's nothing personal to the relationship. It's just that's the space that they're in platonically. And let me make sure I underline that one. Because I feel like people feel as though men and women can't be friends, which I beg to differ.
You now say that again. Men and women can be friends?
They can, yes.
I feel the same way that men and women can be friends. I mean, I know a lot of people sit back and say, well, men and women can't be friends. I know I heard Steve Harvey say one time he doesn't have women friends because it's with us as a man is always a motive. And I think that's his personal journey. Mm-hmm. I don't think that because a man has a female friends that it has to be a physical journey there, or if the opportunity ever presented itself, you would feel like you would really realize that person. But me personally, I have female friends that are like sisters to me, and it's no more than that. They're sisters.
Right.
Now, it's been times that I've been in a relationship and people have met these women and they thought that it was more going on, or I just say that deals with their insecurities and not so much mine, because if I'm going to set up and be honest and truthful with you and say, this person is a friend, I can take you around this person. This person would treat you just as good as I would treat you.
Right.
And I don't know where people get this idea, that men and women can't be friends platonically, So in saying all that, it's just like I say, I feel like a lot of people take this soulmate to heart. Like, you are the only person. And, you made a great point. I mean, you could be a soulmate of your mother, your father, your daughter. Is who you connect to. I kind of like, they work hand in hand, soulmate and best friend, because I think that you can have more than one best friend. I don't know who came up with the idea you only can have one best friend. No, I think each friend has their place in your life.
Right.
Each soulmate has their place in your life.
Right, exactly.
And I think that's what people have to understand, especially when you're in a relationship. How did you think about that, Mckenzie?
Well, I mean, to go back to what you said earlier, where I guess you were saying people in a relationship where they told their partner that somebody else is their soulmate, but they never referred to the person they're with as their soulmate. Is that what you said? Is that what I hear that right? Mm-hmm. The person that they're with, they don't consider them to be their soulmate.
Yeah.
But they have somebody else that they call their soulmate.
Right.
And I guess I would have to. I could see that being very intimidating. human nature demands, especially when you have feelings with somebody, human nature demands that you have to have that same connection. You know, it's like if I know that you have a soulmate and you're connected with them like that, and we don't have that connection, and we laying next to each other every night, and we doing all this, and we in a relationship, I can see that as being very intimidating. It would never be something that you could just be cool with.
So basically, from what perspective would it become intimidating?
I mean, it's just like if you had a group of friends, and you know, but two of the friends are real close, so they do stuff and whatever, but they don't do stuff with the other friends. The other friends are gonna feel away because they're like, well, I want to do that stuff too, but because you don't have that connection, then you know you don't want to do that stuff with you, you know, whatever. So I feel like saying a soulmate thing, I'm not even sure if it's the right word at this point now, because I'm hearing the definition, I'm listening to Dominique, and I'm thinking about it in my head. I'm just like, is it a soulmate or is it something else? Because it's like, not saying that it's not platonic. I'm just saying, is that the right word to call it?
Yeah, it is. I mean, because it's just that. It's a soul mate. It's your soul. It's your spirit, your higher power, your higher self in the connection with that person and their soul and their spirit and their higher self. So, yes, it's definitely a soulmate. Mm-hmm. But I think we have put it into a category of love so much that we're looking at it from a standpoint of, oh, it has to be a love. Oh, you're my soulmate. We're gonna get married. That's not the case.
That's what I'm saying.
So again, when we talk about that space, we're talking more so twin flames. Mm-hmm. Like, you know, we have the twin flames, we got the soulmates, we got the karmics, it's a whole train of different people that present themselves in your life. Your soulmate can literally be your best friend. Mm-hmm. You know. Because y'all just connected. You ever meet somebody and you're like, God, I feel like I just knew you for forever.
Exactly.
And y'all just kind of just take off and y'all just in this space and y'all can talk and y'all understand each other. And y'all may not never fall in love. Y'all just may have a clear understanding. Y'all may help each other grow and, you know, create a safe space for one another. And it doesn't have to be a romantic space.
I think you just made a good point, a clear understanding. Mm-hmm. Because, you know, touching on the subject soulmate, and I think, like you said, a lot of people make it platonic and loving and this, that, and the other. And I think that it has a lot to do with the security you have within yourself. That if I'm in a relationship with you and you have someone, let's say you have a male friend and you say, hey, that's my soulmate. I have to have a certain type of security within myself to be able to deal with that, you know, because I think that the trust factor, when it becomes to that standpoint, is me trusting you. I don't have to trust him. I trust you. Right. So I think that the boundaries are broken when I lose my trust for you.
Right. And I'm pretty sure we're not just walking around like, yeah, that's my soulmate. Right. You know, hey, babe, that's my soulmate. Like, that sounds crazy. But... yeah,
well, that's what I was saying.
No, I don't think nobody.
The picture you was painting seemed like I mean, I don't know what that feels like. I'm just saying hypothetically.
No, it's just I'm not pinpointing. I'm just taking off from the definition of what a soulmate is, and my perspective on it, or Dominique's perspective. I'm saying, to me, I'm not walking around saying, "Oh, that person's my soulmate," or "That person's my soulmate." Mm-hmm. No, it is. I think a soulmate is a person that you know the connection when you meet it. When you meet it, you know it, and
that's what I was gonna say. It commands itself. It's not something that you have control over.
No. Right, so exactly.
I have a best friend that, and Dominique will definitely like. Is it? You know, I call him my best friend, but I have like little to no connection with him like that. Like, we friends because we've been there, we've known each other at the time, all that. But as far as like a soulmate or something, nah. Me and him bump heads all the time. You know, we and that's like two old men. So
that's a great example of what you just used, because here you deal with a person that you've been knowing for years and years and years, and hey, we just friends. We've been knowing each other so long.
I use that word soulmate, and I use that word very selectively.
Yeah, well, and I think it is something that should be used selectively, because everybody's not your soulmate.
Everybody is not your soulmate.
But who's your soulmate, Lamar?
I would say my soulmate is my daughter, my oldest daughter. I would say that, when it comes to a no judgment zone, when you sit back and look at the things that I've probably been through in life, the ups, downs, the highs, the lows, that this person was there for me with a no judgment zone, and we could open up and talk about it. It wasn't, I'm getting angry with you, I'm getting mad with you. If anything, they're going to sit back and give you, they're going to tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. They're going to tell you what you, they're going to be honest with you and straightforward, you know.
That person commands growth.
Right.
In that space. Yeah. So I guess now, since we got the soulmate part clear, now we look at all these other factors, because as we know, there's never the good without the bad, right? So, like I spoke about, we got the twin flame, and everybody does not have a twin flame. So basically, the twin flame is the person that you are supposed to be with. Like, that is your person. That person was made for you, and everybody does not have one of them. But you do run into people that are similar, and you may run into a person that may be identical to a twin flame, which is the karmic. Now, the soulmate and the karmic, and the difference between the two. So, the soulmate promotes growth, understanding, y'all connection. The karmic is going to show up the same way. It's going to present itself in the same way. The difference is it's going to create turmoil in your life. It's going to spiral you out of control in order for you to make those growth points in yourself. It's going to shine mirrors on your insecurities. It's going to this is what this person in this relationship, whether it's platonic or romantic, it's going to shine light in these areas. So I guess when we are talking about the soulmates, we have to be very careful, because your karmics can show up just like your twin flame or your soulmate. But the difference is, your soulmate, I feel like you really, really would know who that person is by their actions. But again, like I said, definitely want to be careful who you put in that space of the soulmate, for sure.
You sound like the devil.
Well, I mean, sometimes we don't get to see everything, and so the karmic is one of those people. They're gonna love you, and they're gonna be there, and they're gonna be everything that you need and want, and oh, this is great, and then they're gonna pull the rug under you, and now you got to figure it all out. And now it's like, oh my God, I didn't know I felt like that, or that was even happening to me, or that, this was a trauma point for me, or, this is something that I needed to work on with self, or, that's what they bring up. They are not the person that you are supposed to be with in no way, shape, or form at all. So
how would you, using that terminology, was it twin flame?
Twin flame, mm-hmm.
How would you know that person is your twin flame?
So you would know if that's your twin flame, somewhat similar to a soulmate. But your twin flame is the romantic partner. They are pretty much going to come the same way, but this is more of a romantic situation, not a platonic. Because soulmate can be platonic, your twin flame is going to be romantic. So they're pretty much the same, except for one is more in a space where it can be a friend or a relationshrelationship, whereas the twin flame is your person.
So do you think that people have had twin flames and it didn't work out?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think so.
You don't really feel that because
no, that's like
so
your destined person. Like
so how do you somebody? Well, I guess somebody. Let's say somebody that was married and they've been together 25 years, mm-hmm. and then they go their separate ways. Mm-hmm. Would you say that person wasn't their twin flame?
Not at all.
I mean, that's basically my story, because I was married 23 years, mm-hmm. got a divorce, mm-hmm. and I felt like Lamar was my person. Mm-hmm. And I think that if we had started early, we'd probably be way further than we are now. Mm-hmm. As far as building. But
Right.
I built a life with my first husband, but then it didn't work out. So I don't think he was the person for me. I
Right.
think he was the person for me then.
Right. He was the person for you then. And then once you separated out of that relationship, did you learn a lot about yourself?
I did. I was in my home for at least 4 or 5 years by myself in my apartment, and there's a lot of things that I still know about myself that I know where I'm supposed to be, where I shouldn't be, who I need to talk to, who I don't need to talk to,
Right.
who needs to be in my space, who don't need to be in my space, who can get me in trouble, who can't,
Right.
that kind of person. So I'm really in tune to who I am. I know where I should be, when I be, where or whom I should be with,
Right.
who should I entertain.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same token, I still make mistakes. So nobody's perfect, but I can honestly say that I honestly can say a twin flame is way much more important than maybe a soulmate. I love my family. I think they're like my village.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if I can categorize them as being my soulmates, all my village.
Mm-hmm.
But, when it comes to a relationship, I agree with you. You can't have a soulmate or twin flame and then it breaks up.
Right.
Because that person just was not for you.
Well, let me add this little twist to it. I think that you can have a twin flame and a soulmate and it not work because we all have choice. We have free will. Mm-hmm. So in having that free will, I may know that that's my twin flame. I may know that that's my soulmate. But in turn, they may felt that way at the time that they were this twin flame or the soulmate and decided, well, I seen something better or the grass is greener on the other side, so I'm going to try that side. Because that person has their own free will. They have their own choice.
Right.
So I don't necessarily, I totally get what you're saying, but I still understand that we as human beings have free will.
But even in that, you're speaking as if you have free will. But you do understand that there are things you still don't have control over.
I do understand that, but I'm saying, I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about in reference of dealing with another person. No matter how much I may love another person, care about another person, or want to give that myself of another person, I can't control their emotion or what they feel or how they want. You're
still speaking under the context of a human being. You're still speaking inside of the boundaries of a human being. And love itself exists.
I'm not saying it doesn't. Love itself exist.
If it's your twin flame, that was already the person that you were supposed to be with. You don't have control over it.
I don't necessarily feel that. I don't necessarily feel that because of the mere fact.
In my opinion, time is inevitable. So if you say, "Oh, well, not at the right time," no, it was the right time.
No. I mean, I get that part, but all I'm saying is that, based upon what you were saying, is that is the person, and I'm not disagreeing that is the person, but I'm saying that person also has free will and a choice, and that person can make a choice that I don't want to do this anymore. And they could be the person that's supposed to be your twin flame.
Right, but it doesn't work like that.
Oh,
That's,
okay.
Yeah, that's not how they work. So
it's not a this is your twin flame,
and
but
it don't work.
I can send it back if I didn't work out. It's
right.
It's set in
destined.
stone. It was set in stone before you even existed.
Okay, so let's go from this perspective. It's just like marriage, right? We all know that they say God ordains marriage, right? Okay, so you have these two people that said that God brought them together to be married, and then they get divorced. You know, it's just like I had a pastor friend of mine share with me one time. I know he was saying, like, that's where I got that concept, because he was like, that God can tell you or share with you to do something, and that doesn't mean necessarily the other person has to do it. God could tell him to do it, but God gave him free will.
So why are y'all saying I do then?
Because that's just the way the dynamics of the world. I'm saying,
you can't say I do if you're not gonna I do, because I do is then I try if you're not gonna do it full.
And you're totally
thing
right.
Is for show. The words, the God brought us together.
Right.
All
Did
of that
God really bring y'all together?
But I don't. I'm saying, okay, like Dorshell and I are married. I only can speak on what I feel like God brought us together. That some other person can go get married and say God brought them together. I can't. I only can go based upon what they share and what they say.
Right.
It could be a whole show, just like both of you are saying. It could be a whole show, had a big wedding and do this and do that.
Right.
It could be the whole show, but that's their their dilemma, and they have to deal with that.
And you know, I've shot some over 100 weddings. I've seen fake. I've seen people I can see on their face before they even say I do. I can tell if it's going to last or not. I see behind the scenes. I see them in the closet crying because they paid too much for the wedding. I've seen it all. So for you to say, oh, God ordained or this, and that, you can say whatever you want. But the real deal is what you went to that courthouse and signed that certificate. That's ordained by God. That is that seal, whatever. But you, it don't care what that bride or groom say, unless it's actually what's ordained by God is what He put in place. That person can be somebody you met on the street and you decide to get married. You can do that. You got the free will to do that. But the person that's set aside for you, nobody knows in that church or whatever you got. No, they don't know. Nobody knows.
And that's what I've just said. Nobody knows. But I only can, like I said, I only can speak for my situation of that. Like when I went into my situation, right? I had been married twice already.
Right.
And when I went into my situation, and I told Dorshell that I knew she was the person for me, that I said to her, no matter what, I'm not doing the divorce thing. I'm going to battle till the end. You know, till, as that little phrase in it, till death do us part. But that's all a choice.
And that's what I want you. That's what I want you to focus on. That feeling that you have right there, that motivation, that fire.
But I'm saying I can't. What I'm trying to
you
get you to understand.
Over that,
no,
though.
but what I'm saying, Mckenzie, I can say that, and that's the way I can feel.
I understand.
But listen, wait a minute, hear me out one second. But she can sit back and decide she don't want to do it no more and go to the courthouse and get a divorce. Does that mean that?
That means it's mutual. How you feel that same fire, she has that too.
No, but what I'm saying is, she could wake up she could wake up tomorrow morning. I could do something, and she could wake up tomorrow morning and not like it.
Okay, but
right, so that's
if she
not
like
as far
it,
as the flame goes, that's what I'm saying. The flame, it's the same connection. Yes, you have a choice, and yes, you're not going to have great days, but the soulmate, the twin flame, the person that you just choose to do life with, they're not all the same people.
Right.
That's the thing.
A flame can be extinguished too. You know that, right?
No, it cannot.
It can't. That's what I'm saying.
We can light a fire in here right now and put it out.
Fire was burning before you existed.
Right.
So
this is why everybody doesn't have a twin flame. Everybody does not. Everybody does have a choice to pick a life partner.
Okay.
Right. That is the difference. Everybody don't have one. So because everybody doesn't have one, that means there's a possibility out of the four of us that's sitting in here, we may have never met our twin flames because we may not have one, but we may have, well, you picked Dorshell and that's your wife and that's the person that you picked. You see what I'm saying? The twin flame is that person that in my opinion, is truly sent and created for you. But outside of that, if you don't have one, you then go and you choose, and your soul resonates, however that goes for you, to pick a life partner.
So would you say a lot of people may not never meet their twin
Yes.
A lot of people may never meet.
Yeah.
Because your path that you choose to walk can take you away from that person or towards that person.
Okay,
or
so
you may not it may not be one that exists at all.
Your free will that you talking about.
That's what I see. You going back to what I said in the beginning about free will.
No, but I'm about to explain how your free will works. Your free will, you pick path that you want to walk on. There is a path, and here's a straight line, right? But you can make a path go over here, go over there, go over there, and you die. And you didn't ever make it to the end because of the choices that you made. Your soulmate is there. Your twin flame is there.
You and I are saying the same thing.
No, we're not saying the same thing.
We are.
I'm
saying, like Dominique saying,
and then it don't work out.
No, what I'm saying is that Dominique explained what twin flame was.
Okay.
We explained what soulmate was.
Okay.
And then I said people have free will. So I'm saying.
Okay. Let me ask you this.
So wait a minute. I'm getting ready to explain it. That's like you just. I'm saying that You cannot control another human being. I understand what you're saying about the flame was lit before you existed and all that. I'm not saying, I'm not totally ignoring what you're saying.
Take that word control completely out.
No, I'm not going to take that word control because you cannot. No, I can't because you don't.
That is the problem.
You know what? I can sit here with Dorshell, that's my wife, and we can discuss things and we can sit back and talk about things, but I cannot control the decisions she makes. She even can make a decision to go along with me, or she can make a decision not to because she got free will.
But why are you so worried about that part?
What do you mean hurt about what part?
Why are you so worried about?
I'm not worried. I'm not. No,
change your mind. Why
I'm not worried about that
but
part.
You keep going back to it.
No, I'm explaining something about my thought process. I'm explaining something, and I'm not saying that's how I function. I'm just saying in general. In general, what I'm saying is the conversation I'm not making personal because I'm with my wife.
Okay.
Okay. But what I'm saying is I've been married twice.
Okay.
So. Both times their divorce came to a. I didn't choose it. I did not choose to get divorced. They chose to get divorced. Guess what? I didn't sit there and fight against it or whatever. You know what I mean? Because one thing about life that I have learned, I'm not going to sit back and be with somebody that don't want to be with me.
Right.
So
absolutely.
So what I'm saying is, I went into it wholeheartedly.
Okay.
That till death do you part. And these people explained to me that they love me, cared about me. They said certain things, and I believe that.
So that's more so in the karmic space because after those marriages were lessons, right?
You can call them that because I believe that.
Right, but in order for you to get to her and feel like she is your person for the rest of it, you had to learn some stuff in there, right?
And I'm still learning.
And those relationships cause havoc in some sort of way, turmoil, where you had to learn stuff about self, right?
Right.
And then learn to understand and learn someone else, right?
And what I did learn is I can't control another human being. That was one of the biggest lessons I learned, that I cannot control another human being.
Is that what you felt like you was doing?
No, I never feel like I'm controlling another human. But what I'm saying is, my process of what I've been through in life is having the understanding of me to know that I can't control another human being. Me, because in life, we as human beings, as something like I'm an alpha male, so I know I can have controlling ways. But and you use a good example. So part of that lesson was for me to say that, hey, you can't be controlling over another human being. So in knowing that I can't be controlling of a human being, I can't control whatever they do. You know, we can come together and work together all day long. We could be twin flames. We could be soulmates. We could be best of friends, you know. But if that person decides to get up one day and don't want to do it, I can't stop them.
Right.
I can have a conversation with them to try to convince them, because just like you just said, everybody has a bad day. I get that.
Do you feel like a twin flame even exists?
I don't.
Based on what you're saying, I don't even feel like you think that person exists.
I'll put it this way: if they do exist, I probably haven't met my twin flame. I'll put it that way. I probably have not met my twin flame, if that exists. If that is something that truly exists, then I probably haven't met them.
Okay, that's fair.
And the other thing is this, because this is me being transparent. This is my first time ever hearing about a twin flame.
Right.
So
and there's a lot of people. You know, you're not the only one.
So I will say this. I think that you can be with a person and not know it, but can grow into what your explanation of twin flame is, and knowing and realizing that this person is my twin flame. Because how can I identify something?
Y'all would have the same soul.
But identifying to something you don't even know what it is.
Y'all have the same soul.
Right, but what I'm saying, listen what I'm saying, Dominique. What I'm saying is, I understand what you're saying about the same souls and this, that, and the other. But what I'm saying to you, if I did not even hear this thing, didn't know what it was, I can't identify to it because I didn't know what it was. But now that you explain the explanation of it, now I have awareness of it. Now, in having awareness of it, maybe I'll say, okay, well, this happening. Hey, this is my twin flame. Because now I understand it.
Right.
And you can't identify to something you don't understand or never even knew of.
Right.
That's just what I see it. So I'm not saying it does not exist. I'm not saying that it's not real.
Okay.
I'm just saying it's something I never heard of.
Right. Okay. And that's fair. So let me say this. So let me turn on the side street right here. So with all of this being said, right, we didn't figure out soulmate, twin flame, the karma. We got a somewhat of a clear understanding, right? So we don't find our twin flame, right? We may have some soulmates, and the person we may be with may not be that person, but they are our life person, right? That's the person that we choose to do life with. Now, how do you sustain and create a healthy relationship with that person?
If you're trying to make them
just
making them your life partner,
having them now being just your life partner. They don't come with all the little cute bells and whistles, right? This is just the person you said, okay, you know what? I can see this. I can wake up to you.
I can work with it.
Yeah. And not saying you're settling, but okay. Now, especially now, because more people are being open to understanding these people and the universe and all of these things. So what do you do? How do you maintain?
If you're not really sure that person is for you, how do you maintain that?
Well, how do you just maintain the relationship, period? Like, okay, so now we're here and we're together. How do we maintain that? What do we do? Are we talking to each other?
There's a lot of communication that has to be done. A lot of communication. I think that communication is the dynamic of anything succeeding. I think that you sit back and when you look at it, it's just like, even in the midst of conversation, and you making it work. I may say some things you like. I may say some things you dislike. Right. But I think it's a give and take. I think that you have to humble yourself. I think that's the biggest thing, is learning to humble yourself, because in humbling yourself, it helps you better relate to the other person. It's just like, and I'll put a true story out there. It's just like we had went to Vegas, and I'm a kind of frugal person. I'm very, hey, money can't be spent. Money can't. So Dorshell has said to me, well, Lamar, I want to enjoy life. I don't want to die and somebody else spend my money. And we was in Vegas for her birthday. And it was a humbling moment to me, because I said to myself, well, we are here for her birthday and want to have a nice time, right? So I said, it is what it is. So whatever we're going to spend, we're going to spend it. Ain't going to be no issues about it. We're going to spend it. But on the flip side, I had to communicate and understand, let her do this. Dorshell, I've been homeless before. I done slept in my car, slept on the streets, you know what I mean? And I don't want to be broke again. So we had two different people, one a spender, one a saver, right? But I said, hey, when we get back, we got to do some things the way I see it, so we can replenish some of this what we spent. But the humbling experience is that I found myself didn't go off the edge, because I could relate to what she said about I want to enjoy life. I don't want to die and somebody else spend money, because I've seen it happen so much. I see people die and other people enjoy the fruits of their labor, but while they were here, they didn't enjoy the fruits of their labor. So I got it. I received what she was saying, and it made us have a more humbling experience with each other. So
I think too, like when you asked me, how do you make that work? I think that you just have to really be understanding. Mm-hmm. Like, he grew up a different way, I grew up a different way, or whoever your life partner is, they did things differently. Mm-hmm. So then you have to kind of like step back and be patient. Like, okay, that's how they did it. Let's just use this example. I cook dinner, I eat dinner, then I clean the kitchen up, right? But my partner might cook, clean as they go, clean as they go, eat their dinner, cleaning, and never really sit down to enjoy it. Mm-hmm. Well, that could be a problem. Mm-hmm. So it's either you sit back and you want to talk about that, or, not change who you are, right, but let you know that, okay, when I cook, this is how I like to do it. Mm-hmm. Okay, here comes Dorshell. She's going to cook and make a whole mess. But she's going to sit down and eat her dinner. Right. She's going to sit down and eat her dinner in a messy kitchen. Mm-hmm. But that's Dorshell. I mean, let her be who she is, but not let it irritate you to the point where you haven't been patient enough to go, okay, that's how that person is. Okay, he drives 160 miles per hour to get to a red light. That's who he is. Mm-hmm. That's not me. I'm going to take my time. So you have to kind of, to make that relationship work, I think you need patience, but you also have to understand this person's not you. Mm-hmm. You're not that person. Right. But kind of grow together to understand each other. Mm-hmm. Okay. That's my take on it.
So what is your take on it, Ms. Dominique? How would you sustain a relationship knowing that the person is not your twin flame, but as you say, you choose to make this person your life partner? How do you address it? Knowing all that you know about twin flames and the rest of the thing, how do you address it?
I would definitely say communication, but alongside of that, you need comprehension, because you can communicate all day. I could say the sky's blue, these walls is black, and you could tell me, well, what do you mean by that? You got to comprehend what I'm saying. Well, I thought that was the floor. No, that's the wall. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You got to have that first, right? So then, but you also, I'm really big on this, creating a safe space, right? Communicating, comprehending, and creating a safe space to communicate and comprehend. Because if you don't know something, that means you got to ask, right? But you also got to feel comfortable in asking it, right? You got to.
So in asking it, do you feel like the person has to be open-minded to receive what you're saying? Mm-hmm. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you definitely have to be open-minded. But that's what I'm saying, creating that safe space. Now, I can definitely say, I say some weird stuff. I do some weird stuff. And me and Mckenzie and I, we are very different. We are very different, but we're very much alike in the same same circle. We are alike. But sometimes it's like, I may know something that he don't know, or vice versa. And it's always a space that we've created for each other to be like, okay, hey, I don't know what you mean by that. What you mean by that? And it's never like I'm afraid.
Right.
So I think for me, when it comes to sustaining, making it a safe space for you to be whoever you are, right?
Right.
You like you like dressing up, and you like going to the bar or whatever. Okay, that's who you are. That's what you like to do. That's what you enjoy. Or you like to go to Comic-Con and Dragon Con. That's what you like to do. Great, do your thing. I'm not here to judge you. And I think that's another thing too. Being in a space where you can actually help that person grow instead of trying to judge that person on what they may not know or how they may have come and how they've grown and their past. Again, it just goes back to creating that safe space.
So this is something a twin flame would understand and a soulmate would understand.
Right.
That exactly. You understand who I am and I understand who you are.
Right. Now the twin flame gonna get it right on the head because y'all share the same soul. So that's what I'm saying. It's a whole different level of a person because y'all share the same soul.
So let me ask you this. Mm-hmm. And this is going by what you said to get clear understanding.
Okay.
So the twin flame likes everything you like, and you like everything they like.
Y'all are pretty much the same person. Y'all mirror each other completely.
Right.
That is you, and you are them.
Right. So I'm
The soulmate is gonna have a different soul from you. Y'all just have an instant connection,
right?
And it's like, you know what? Yeah, and now y'all friends, and y'all meet up at a meetup, and hey, how you doing? And now y'all just the best of friends, and y'all just kind of keep going in life. That's the difference.
So and so because I know in the beginning of this conversation, let's touch on that. Best friends, because I think that sometimes people take the terminology best friend out of control, like they do soulmate or any of these other things. I think that I strongly believe you can have more than one best friend. I can't even imagine when people got this concept and this idea about you only can have one best friend.
Well, I feel like you can have multiple best friends, and each friend
brings something
different.
Yeah.
I can be with a girlfriend that I love, and she's business. I know I'm gonna talk to her about business. We're gonna bounce off ideas with each other. Then I got a girlfriend that's real social, so we get on the phone and we talk about what's going on in social media, the TV, news. But then you have another friend that's like a financial person, and you're like, that's that person. So I think you can have more than one best friend all day,
right?
But just understand, but understand their roles in your life.
Right?
They're not like right,
and they all not gonna coincide with each other,
right?
Because
everybody's got a different opinion.
They do it a different personality. I have two, and they are completely different.
Right.
No, I take that back. I have three. I apologize. Two of them are very much the same, but the three of us are very much the same, so it kind of makes sense. Now, the other one, she's a little bit different from the rest of us, but she does bring something different to the table. Right. So, yeah, you can definitely have more than one best friend.
Right. Absolutely.
For sure. I definitely agree with that.
I truly believe that because, I like I said, some people just get tied up in, in their own concept of not having clarity or understanding what that means. Because it's just like you say, when you come to a relationship, I think that people should have a lot more clarity about who they are, what their expectations are.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And I think that in the society that we live in today, and I'm not saying everybody, but there's a lot of people that have based who you are by your financial status or your job or the friends you hang around. They judge you on that when you could be a giver. You could be the greatest person they ever met.
They're just a shallow individual.
Exactly.
Right.
And I think in today's climate, it's hard meeting real people.
Social media has taken over.
Yeah,
of course it is. We got AI now.
It's just like
be who you want to be.
It's just like one of our earlier podcasts that we was talking about where Mckenzie was up there saying that how these guys did not know how to be men, and it's because a lot of them don't see what a real man is, or some of the things that a man is going to do for his family or his person that he's with or whatever. A lot of them can't even connect and relate to because they're letting social media dictate to them how they should be as a man or a human being, and it's kind of crazy,
Right.
So we have to sit back and look at the dynamics of things,
right? So since we all went around, Mckenzie, passing the torch to you, what do you think it takes to sustain a healthy relationship?
Learning that person, and I mean learning that person, because like you are used to two separate people, and you have to just really focus on that person, their likes, their dislikes, what they like to do, what makes them smile. Why'd you make that face? Why'd you laugh at that? Why'd you frown at that? Because that really pretty much lays out how you're going to love that person, how you're going to care about that person, how you're going to, that. And I feel like when in the context of sustain, and that would say time. And when you're learning somebody, there is no time. There's just you're learning that person. It never stops. And you're just learning and taking it in and taking it in and taking it in. I don't understand the concept of cheating or looking at somebody else. If I'm that focused and I'm learning somebody, I can't focus on anything else. I'm constantly taking that person in. I want to peel back all those layers of that onion and just keep peeling them off and peeling them. Will I ever get to the center? So I want to know. It's just an amazing experience to really put that kind of effort into somebody and to just love that person and just keep learning, taking them in. You get so into that person and loving that person and learning all the different things about them, whatever, and you look up and you've been together 25, 30, 40 years.
Good point.
There's no time to it. Time is going to move regardless. But when you're learning that person, you're lost in it. You don't have a concept of time. All you know is that person.
Okay,
That's
Mckenzie.
what I would say. I would say, and I think in that sustain happens.
And I think the way you said sustain is the lifetime. So that makes perfectly good sense. Sustaining it means that every day you're growing. Every single day you're growing with that person. You're learning that person. You're taking that time to really understand that person, being patient, being, kind and all that kind of stuff. But at the end of the day, that's how it's going to sustain.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to last because you're going to man, I know when I do this creeps him out.
Right.
But he still loves
Right.
me, right?
Right.
Or whatever he does makes you just want to just throw him out the window. But
Right.
that's my dude.
Right.
But that's who he is.
Mm-hmm.
It's not about I'm trying to change him to be, to not watch, clean behind himself or anything. Do like
Right.
I do. I'm not trying to make you to be me.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta love the parts that I don't like a lot of times.
Right.
Like I gotta still love the things that kind of gets on my nerves because
Right.
that's the person that I want to sustain a lifetime with,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Right.
So-
And I think to add to that, I think everybody has to be open to growth, right? Because we are individuals. So we can't see ourselves from the outside in. We can only see ourselves as who we are. So, for me, when it comes to, and when we talk about love and things like that, I feel like you once you learn how to love somebody, you learn how to, you learn to, what am I saying? How am I trying to put this?
Give up yourself?
Not necessarily give up yourself, but if I see something and I'm like, I know you can be better at this. I love you enough to see you, to bring you up too, right? Because if I'm here and I have an understanding and I see that you don't have that, I want to help you grow. I want to help you grow, and I want to love you enough to make you, and you can't make somebody love themselves, but I feel like you can love a person enough to let them see why you love them or who they are, or help them grow into spaces that they may not be
Never
open
tapped
to.
into.
Yeah, because everybody doesn't have the same experience. Everybody hasn't been loved by you, from your standpoint. Maybe they haven't been seen by others as you see them. So when you start seeing them and you kind of just, that right there, I think, we should. What if you try that? Or, I'm not trying to change who you are, but I see the potential. I can see the betterment for you. And if you're going to be my person, we got to be good together. I can't just be good and you not good.
Right.
I can't be growing and you stay stagnant. That don't work. Because if that's the case, what we doing?
Right.
Let's say something personal. It's good. I'm gonna say something personal. This is not a lot. I refer to her as my rib.
I need some tissue.
And I refer to her as my rib because she is what I lack. She is the completion. So in that, she will push me. She will say, "You need to do this. You need to do that. Or you need to. She will push you." And I don't look at it as criticism. I don't look at it as it upsets me. It might be hard to hear sometimes.
Right. And that's the part that I was talking about.
But I understand where it's coming from. And I feel like God had already built me to withstand that and be in a place to receive that, to grow.
Right.
And I refer to her as my rib And I mean that. I don't know anything about soul fate, twin flame, all that stuff. I know I'm from Harlem. I know it's my rib,
Right.
period. And it's what I lack.
Right.
And I look at that, as it's as far as sustaining whatever, allowing someone to be that part of you.
Right, and you bring up a good point because, and you have too, Dominic, that when you see somebody and you can see the potential in them, which they can't even see in themselves at times, and you like, and this is what I mean about a person has to be open to understand that. What I'm trying to give you, I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm trying to uplift you. So no matter how humbling you may say it, if the person, which Mckenzie just said, he's open to it. So no matter how humbling it may be, no matter how loud it may be, it's knowing that this was what this person is giving me is trying to uplift me and help me. So I think that people have to understand that as well. That hey, like you say, we all been through different walks of life. And we've all been through some humbling experiences. And you have to be open and really open-minded and open-hearted to be able to, I call it constructive criticism. It's not that I'm trying to damage you or bring you down or hurt you. I just trying to uplift you. And some of the things, like you just said, Mckenzie, hey, some of it I don't want to hear. Some of it may be as true as the sky's blue, but I don't want to hear.
Hey, look, man, it ain't nothing out here in these streets. If you have somebody in your life that checks off most of those boxes or something, you might be with your twin flame, whatever, but it ain't nothing out here in these streets.
Right.
And in this day and age with social media and Instagram, and you constantly got stuff in your face all day long, you can look up whatever you want to look at. You can talk to her social and speed dating and online dating. I mean, I'm telling you, man, when you meet a person, you need to hold on real tight. And you need to really, because it's a lot of ways for you to just be out here and never meet. Hell, you can't even meet a person that you want to spend a week with. Forget trying to find a soulmate.
Right.
So I mean, you really have to, to get to what we're talking about here. It's a blessing to even find somebody these days and be able to have that relationship because, it's too much going on out here. It's not how it used to be. I was just talking to my sister the other day and I was like, man, you remember how easy it was when we was kids? We could literally see a girl in your class and write a note. Do you like me? Yes or no?
And check the box off.
Right. And then if she said yes, that was it.
Right.
Now it's, what's your background? What did you do? Where you job?
Right.
How much you make? Do you have a stable? Do you have a roof over your head? Do you have a stable job? Do you have a car? It's a whole list of stuff.
One thing is, and I think this is all coming together on twin flame, soulmate, best friend. As you say, Mckenzie, and touching what's out here in the world. I mean, a lot of people still, out here now, especially, I don't want to call them older, mature women. I've had conversation with some mature women. They're like, I would never date a man on his potential, And I think that so many people miss out because they won't give an opportunity because I'm like you said, Mckenzie, I'm not in their eyesight stable enough for them. And everybody has their choice.
Right.
Everybody has their choice. But what about I see potential in this guy? It's just like, and I just use this as an analogy. It's just like this guy in Baltimore when the Freddie Gray thing was going on. And I say this because I know you're a photographer. Mckenzie's a photographer. The person that did not see potential in this young man, when the whole Freddie Gray thing was going on and the Black Lives Matter, he took a picture of a guy and they were spraying him down, macing him and everything. And this picture ended up on the front of Time magazine, changed this whole guy's life. Changed his whole life. But, it's just like I seen something on social media. Michael B. Jordan was on there, and this young lady that knew him back in school, and she said something to him. He said, I remember you called me whack back then. I was whack, remember? Now I made it to the certain status. Now you want to see? It's just like it's so much fakeness out here.
It is, and I don't know, but just knowing and understanding the potential thing. Now I'm gonna say this because I get what they're saying in that space. Now, you can see potential, that's for sure. But what potential is he showing at that time, right? If you have a person, and let me make my example clear, or my statement clear, right? I say I want to be, I don't know, we're going to say I want to be a writer, right? And I keep, I want to write a book, I want to write a book. And you can see the potential in me to write the book. That's fine. Oh, yeah, I think that'll be good. You got good ideas, and, that's great. But you never see me take the time out to write the book.
I got you from that perspective.
Right? And it's the same thing. What steps are you taking? Because I can see the potential in you all day, but what are you actively doing at this time that's going to change or move that potential to being
move the needle.
Right. Mm-hmm. So I think that's what they're talking about in a sense of the potential part, because I get that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do this and you don't never do nothing. I mean, yeah, it could be great. Okay, but if you're not working towards it and I can't see it, what does it mean?
And I'm with you on that.
Yeah.
And me referencing that, it was talking about somebody that's you see them doing, but they haven't reached their plateau yet.
Right.
So I wasn't talking about in reference to somebody that, I want to do this, I want to be a singer, I want to do this and that, and they're doing nothing to even head in that direction.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you speaking about the gamble, the gamble. It's like love is a gamble, so it's a crap game. But here's the thing, though: nobody wants to play. Nobody wants to take the risk anyway. We live in an age of instant gratification where people just want. So you get into the conversations of, I'd rather have somebody that's established than have somebody that's trying to get established or get to that point. And as our parents used to teach us back in the day, you care more about something and you appreciate it more when you had to work to get it.
Exactly.
As opposed to it given to you.
Right.
And nobody wants to work for it anymore. They don't want that.
And they
gamble.
don't have to.
Because
there's so many people to pick from. They don't have to.
Exactly.
I want a 6-figure.
Right.
All right, yeah. I want this and I want that one. I can Instagram, Facebook.
So how do you get to do you see all of that, right?
Right.
But then your twin flame is out here somewhere in the world running around.
Well, and then we're gonna sit back and we're gonna close on that. We hope you guys continue to listen to us at peoplethinkaboutit.com. We talked about, we got educated today on what twin flame. We got different understandings of soulmate and best friends. So we hope that you take this conversation and get together and maybe talk with a group of people or talk with your significant other and see if you fit into any of these categories of twin flame, soulmate, or best friend.
Or karmics.
We got that's to come, karmics. I'm learning some stuff here. So we want to thank Dominique. We want to thank Mckenzie and Dorshell for having this conversation. We ask that you listen to us to all the platforms, Spotify, Apple, peoplethinkaboutit.com. Make sure you reach out to our pod page, like it, subscribe to it, and we hope that you guys listen and come back. And thank you for listening to People Think About It. We hope you come back real soon.
I was trying to see if